Okay.
I mean, it's not there is some type of heter from museum. At the end of the day, museum have a piece of Torah. So is that something that they went and asked the Rav about? It's it has to do a lot with the knowledge of that piece. That's going to be a lot of it.
Are we holding by Lagira? Where did we get to?
Let's turn the page.
We went up to the top.
I think it's 5 lines down.
And
I think it's Lagira, 5 lines down. Rabbi Naftali, does that make sense?
I thought we were starting a little bit before that, but
Okay.
I thought we were on the 3rd line.
Okay. So on the 3rd line then.
that's Lagira. Yeah, that's where we're up to.
Okay.
Remember, it was another answer to the last week. So it wasn't.
Yeah, he got up to Lagira.
Yeah, 3rd line. We talked about the excrement of the dog.
Okay, everyone, I'll go back a little bit. This is talking about Labar.
Lagira. That's
Start
what
from
I said.
Lagira? Okay.
Yeah.
Start from there. Okay. Thank Hashem that we're able to learn every day.
And that the rabbi is back.
And this chus of learning we should have. This Migdash immediately. Okay. The last thing that it said is that one of the remedies was feces of a white dog, and you should mix it with a natva, with this like a balm or a resin. And as much as possible, try to avoid that because it breaks the bones apart. That was the last piece. Okay, Lagira, which is a sharp pain, like a gira is like an arrow, sharp pain. Let's say gira de lilta. You should take, I think it's a meteorite of lilta is the demon, the Lilith. That's right. And benifche, you turn it over, which would mean that it probably comes down with the heavier side. Does it come like the pointy side? If there was a meteorite, it come like the pointy side. Anyway, you turn it over to the opposite side. You pour water over it. You drink it. You drink that water that has the meteorite dust on it.
When those days,
This is for sharp pain. Where'd they get it? They got it in Alaska. The Eli, and if not, you should bring water that a dog drank from at night. And there's but you'd have to be very careful because you're not allowed to leave water overnight. If you leave water overnight, that causes other problems. The Gemara goes on. What do you do if you drink water that was left overnight? Anpika the chamra chaya. You have to take a revius. Anpika is a revius, a small measurement of undiluted wine. Lemorsa, what do you do for boils? Anpika the chamra ba'ala tulana. You have to take a measurement of wine together with a red aloe. Okay. Lepircha deliba. Let's say someone has faint of heart. Let's say tlas bershayaisa desari. Take 3 loaves of bread of barley bread. Benishterino bekimcha delayaver labe yabanyim. Should soak it in kimcha is kutach. It's this milk dip. It's like a spoiled milk dip that has a lot of salt in it. And thank you. Bye. And that 40 days hasn't passed. I think this dip, they would leave it for like months. I think it would like sit for a long time. Anyway, this is a young dip that had soaked the barley bread in it. And then you eat it. And then afterwards you drink diluted wine. Well, Amale Ravacha midifti l'Ravina. Ravacha midifti says to Ravina, Kolshkin the parachliba. That's not a good medicine. That's going to make him even worse. It's going to hard. It's going to even be more faint. Amalei. Oh, I gave that remedy for the heaviness of the heart, not for faintness of the heart. Exactly the opposite. The pircha de liba, for faintness of the heart, you have to do something else. Lacy tlas you have to take 3 loaves of wheat bread, not barley bread. You have to soak it not in kutach, you have to soak it in honey. And you eat it. And then afterwards you drink the undiluted wine. And Dr. Stein, for the placebo, they both work.
It's just interesting that there's certain medicines that work for
Opposite.
like very low dose of beta blocker. Beta blockers work for high blood pressure. They also work for low blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
So, and there's several medicines like
Dr. Stein is saying that there's some medicines that work for both extremes, like a high blood pressure and a low blood pressure. The same medicine could work for it.
Hit him on the other side.
Remember the guy that had a pain in his eye every time he drinks coffee?
take this.
And the doctor said, take the spoon out. Okay. So l'tzarcha deliba, for a pain in the heart. Lesi tlas beya ninya. Take 3 egg sizes of mint. Yes, a pain in his heart. Beyasa the kamuna, and an egg size of cumin. It's Indian food. Beyasa the shumshimi, and you take an egg size of sesames. You eat it all. Okay, that's for a pain in the heart. Lekav mei, for a pain in the stomach. Leisei tlas mei pilpuli arichti. You should take. You see, pilpuli means peppers, but it doesn't mean the what we call pepper. It means the peppercorns, I think. But I don't know what it means. You take 300 long peppercorns. And every day you should drink 100 of them together with wine. Okay. Ravin the Minarish, Ravin from this place, Narish. Abale Labrate, the Ravashi, he made this remedy for Ravashi's daughter. I guess she had a stomach pains. And Meya Vechamshin Mehani Didan V'itse. Oh. Instead of using 300, he only used 150. Apparently, the Babylonian peppers are stronger than the Israeli, Mexican. Yeah.
Or she's smaller, and therefore it becomes equivalent.
Oh, maybe. Lakirtza. Kirtza are, I think, intestinal worms. Anbika the chamra. You take a revius of wine. Atrafa the ara. Now, this is with laurel leaves. Laurel is a type of tree. Is that what you have there? Oh, yeah?
They put it like in the bean soup. They put like
Oh, and does it give a flavor? Or?
it gives a flavor, then you put it up. Usually like a whole.
Oh, interesting. Has anyone figured out what the bay leaf does? Okay. What does it do? Oh, really? Okay. Lakir tzachivra, for white worms. Lacey bizra galgila. You take the seed of a galgila, it's translated as, maybe it's a arugula. Maybe it's a rocket plant. Is that the same thing? Anyway, Rashi says uruga. And you should wrap it up in cotton. Soak it in water. And drink it. But you have to be very careful from the kernel, from the seed. If you're not careful, it could make an ulcer, could cause a hole in the stomach. Lemesar for diarrhea. Sisin retiva, b'maya. You take.
Here they say punctures intestines, which we learned.
Oh, punctures intestines. Okay.
People who have diverticulosis, little pocketings in their intestines, they used to warn them not to take anything with those seeds and stuff.
Oh, really?
Because the seed could plug up the little and then the kibbutzim. So this sounds like that same reason.
Wow.
Nowadays, he said people that you want that you can't get everything. I did everything.
Uh-huh.
Not you want.
So Sisin Retiva is they translate as penny royal. Penny royal, I think, is those little like weeds that we have. I think I've seen it here. I think it's something that we have common. B'maya, you take it in water. Retiva means that it's moist, and you take it with water. Lemishra, what do you do to stop the opposite? If someone has constipation, how do you make him more loose? Yivishta, you take this penny royal that's dried in water. The simanach. Now, if you want to figure out how this works, so Itza retiva, a moist vegetation that the sachanara that dams up a river. So when it's wet, it dams it, it blocks it up. When it's moist, it makes it loose. When it's moist, it dries it up. When it's wet, it blocks it up. I'm saying the same thing. When it's wet, it dams it up, and when it's dry, it makes it loose. Okay, it's counter-intuitive. Letachla, for an enlarged spleen. Is there a word for that? Yeah. Let's say shave bini demai. You take 7 water leeches, and you have shinu betula. You let it dry in the shade. B'chol yom, and every day nishti tarte with lasa b'chamra. You drink 2 of them or 3 of them and mixed with wine. Doesn't sound kosher. And if not, you take the spleen of a goat that never gave birth, and you place it in the oven. And you bring it to him. And you say, you say this, what's it called? Incantation. It's incantation that just like the spleen, this spleen is drying up, so too the spleen of so-and-so, the son of so-and-so, which is, we probably say the name of the person that has the enlarged spleen, should also dry up. If you can't do that, you place it, you place the spleen of the goat between the bricks of a new house. And you say the same thing. As if you couldn't get it to dry in the oven, so you'd put it in the bricks of a new house. If you can't do that, livki shachva the shachva b'Shabbat. You have to find someone that passed away on Shabbos. V'nishkale liyadei, and you take the dead person's hand, and you place it on the spleen of the sick person. And you say, just like this person's hand is drying up, so too should the spleen of so-and-so dry up. If you can't do that, no one died on Shabbos, or maybe he doesn't want to do that. They say, yeah, that's okay. Not a Kohen, or you bring a fish, and you roast it by the by the blacksmith. And you eat it together with the water of the blacksmith. The blacksmith puts it in the heat, and he puts it in the water. You also should drink the water of the blacksmith. There must be a lot of metal, in that water, iron and whatever else. Okay. What is that?
It's all fact.
It's all fact. There was a goat that drank from the water of the blacksmith. They shechted it. It didn't even have a spleen. So you see that not only does it reduce it, but it can even make it disappear. And if not, you have to open up a barrel of wine just for him. It's going to have his own barrel. Just give him a straw.
By the way, that's not unusual. Certain people who have certain diseases, that the spleen, because it gets all clogged, they have an orthosplenectomy. It just kind of kills itself. Well, it's not eating itself up, but it essentially gets so clogged up with the blood byproducts that it
Wow. Wow.
Good way to avoid surgery.
Did you look at that book, Rabbi Rosner?
I think I have.
You know, when I did this Gemara last time I looked at it, was really fascinating. I mean, I don't have notes on it, but he was going back and forth. He had not only from the doctors, but he even had from these old historians, like the Greek, like Herodotus and things like what they said about, different things that just in passing, he had it all collected there and like in comparing what the Gemara
By
says
the
to
way,
those remedies.
when you mentioned stone from the meteorite,
Yeah.
came back to me that I once mentioned that gold is not from the earth. It actually supposedly came from meteorites. So we also use gold for certain types of arthritis, and we don't use it anymore because it's too expensive to make. For the therapy, big pharma won't go for it. But I'm just saying, perhaps there is some metal in that meteorite that actually would cure if whatever.
Right.
Do not do this at all.
Interesting. I think what they think is that the gold, this is all speculation, of course, but that the gold comes from heavier metals that broke down, that the heavier elements that decayed.
That's another theory, not from a meteorite.
Yeah, I think so.
I like the meteorite.
Okay. So you're gonna give this guy some wine. Amle Ravacha Brei Rava Ravashi. Ravacha, the son of Rava, says to Ravashi, Yislei Chavisi the Chamra Leasei Lekami Demar. That's a good pitch for the wine sellers. He says if he had a barrel of wine, then he doesn't need any of your remedies. Ella Marga B'Fas Shachris. What he should do is, we're talking about, what he means is we're talking about someone that doesn't have the wine, like the wine would have cured everything. We're talking about someone that doesn't have wine. What should he do? He should eat breakfast, malakula gufa, because that's very helpful. Okay, I think that we can accept. No, that's acceptable today. Larush chasa. This is like pinworms. Say, oh, is that what you have?
Yeah.
Let me see where I got. Oh, you're right. Rashi says it's hemorrhoids. Tachtenius. Okay, hemorrhoids. Say akika. Akika is acacia. That fits well, or doesn't, isn't it? Acacia, because the two C's. The ilva and aloe. Vaspircha. I think it's mercury. I think it's liquid silver. Right? No, it's mercury. Martecha is the dross from the silver. The chumarta, the filine. Chumarta is a bundle of filon. No, filon is filon. I guess it's a plant. It's a type of spice. B'shiafa de chamimta, and excrement from a bird, a dove.
Oh, I got that all over my windows.
Yeah, if anyone needs some, you can get it. You can pull it off Dr. Stein's car. Yeah.
Excuse me, sometimes it's from the
Oh, really? V'ninkait b'shachki the kisna, you have to take it with rags of shachki, is worn out clothing. Rags of flax, b'kaita in the summer, with the amar gufna b'sitva, and you take it with cotton, right? Summer geffen. In the winter, and if you can't do that, then lishti shichramak, you just drink diluted beer. Okay, that sounds easier.
the common denominator of every cure has been absent alcohol.
All right. The shigruna.
Tincture of alcohol.
The shigruna was either rheumatism or gout. Is that what you have over there? Shigruna? Shigruna, I think they said someone translated was as gout. You know what you have? Yeah. Sciatica, that's what they say?
Here it says some suggest this is gout.
Okay.
Well, others say it's sciatica. Okay, and then
It says general term for illness of the thighs, inflammation of the sciatic nerve.
Okay.
Rheumatism.
Okay. Let's say
By the
pasya
way,
dimenina.
Gout in the thighs is very rare. Gout's usually small.
And the
foot,
toe.
like the toes, the ankles.
Right. Let's say pasya dimenina. Take a pot of fish brine. Now munini is like small fish brine. Vinagre sheet and zimni aham matche, and you roll it 60 times on this hip. Sheet and zimni aham matche, and 60 times on this hip. Okay. Litzamirta. Samirta are stones in the bladder. Nese tlas netufaisa mishcha de kufra. Take 3 drops of oil of tar. Tlas netufaisa itra de karti. And you take 3 drops of extract of leeks. Tlas netufaisa de chamr nakida, and 3 drops of clear wine. Lishte leili ishba amma. A man should put it on his male organ. Uli isha baisamakam. And a woman should put it on her private area. The Eli, and if that doesn't work, I mean, these but stones are. If not, lese una dezika, you take the handle of a flask. Litle leishba'ama, the man should place it, hang it, place it on his male organ. Leisha bedadin, and a woman should put it on her breast. The Eli, and if you can't do that, lese chuta dezarisa deshadse duma bastuma. You take a red thread that was spun by a woman of ill repute, the daughter of someone of ill repute. But the man should put it on his male organ. The woman should put it on her breast. If you can't do that, they say kina de zachar nekeva. Now, I think what this means, not you take a louse that came from a male and a female because they thought of their lives were like spontaneous generated. They didn't have like that. But I think it means you take a louse off a man, you take a louse off a woman. The man should place it on his male organ. A woman should place it on private area. And when he urinates, nashtin asisna yivishti, should urinate on dry thorns. Bitzinur dedasha at the door socket, at the edge of the door. You should look for the stone that comes out, because that stone, the Ma'ila Kuli Timra, that could help for all types of stones. Yeah.
No, all types of fever.
Fever. Simarta was a stone, Simra was fever. It can help for all types of fever. What did we call the fever over here? Over here we called Shimsha fever. And then we also said, oh yeah, the fever, there was the fever coming up. Yeah, the fever's coming up. Okay. L'timra bra. Timra bra, this is an external fever. Lacey tlasa grieve souffle. Souffle. No. You take 3 sa, grieve is a measurement of 144 eggs. Souffle is date pits. The pits, the 300, not 3 sa of date pits. Utlasa grieve and 3 sa of atraf adra, of the other tree. I don't know exactly what tree is the other tree, but the other tree is.
It's the other tree.
It's the other tree. He said it's the other tree. The Gemara tells us that if someone wants to, it's a high maintenance tree. Someone wants people to see that there's someone that lives in that property, then people shouldn't go in. He plants an other tree, so it's like that. Okay. You boil each one of these separately, and you sit between them. You put them on 2 basins. You bring a table, you put it over him. He gets up from this one, he sits on that one. He gets up from this one, he goes back that one. So he's going up and down. It's like standing up, sitting down. Until he gets like steam coming from him, it gets like hot. And he bathes. What does that mean? He bathes in them. He washes with those waters. The chishasi, when he drinks, you should drink from the water of the idra leaves that he was soaking. You should not drink the water of the date pits, because that could cause sterile. It cause him to be sterile. The timra gavna for internal fever, Lacey shiva buni the silk, you should take 7 fistfuls of silkas, beets. We shaved mishari from 7 different rows. And you should boil it with the dirt. And you should eat it. You should drink the leaves of the other tree in beer. Invi tala b'maya, or you should have the grapes of a palm tree with water. Now, with grapes of the palm tree, Rashi says that it's the grapes that are, because the grapes are a vine, so it's a vine that's hanging on a palm tree. L'chazizta, for skin disease. What do they call it? It's right on top of the page 70. Skin eruption. What do you have there? What do they say there? Right up top. Chazizta. Okay. Anyway, what is Yalefes? It sounds like it's a type of boils.
Yeah, doesn't it say Yakech Yalefes?
Yeah.
Kisavai.
Lacey Shev Chiti Arzanaisa. You should take 7 wheat kernels, large wheat kernels. Benaklino amara chadata, and you should toast it, roast it on a new shovel, amara on a shovel, chadatanu. Benafik mishchaminayo, and the oil will come out of it. Veneshef, and you rub it on it. Rafsim Barashi avadullahu avid kachavim l'davarachav itzi. The Rafsim Barashi did this for this non-Jew. He made him this medicine, and he had actually leprosy, and the guy got better. Yeah, Taisus over here is how we say allowed to heal this idolater. He says he was doing it just for experimentation. Okay. He wouldn't have been called an Ovid Kechavim. Ovid Kechavim means that he worships stars, right? Unless maybe they switched it. Oh, so you have a different version of it. Okay, that could be different. Okay. No, I have the old one. I have mine is self-censored. We censored ours, so we don't insult the Christians.
When it says Gentile, does it always refer to a Christian? Could it be like?
No, it doesn't always. But the problem is that the Christians didn't allow us to publish books that would had anything negative.
But
so we
this is
switched
uncensored,
all our
they
books
would've
to
gone
say
back to the
idolaters.
original. So it would have said like notes for yours.
No, it could say Nachri, or it could say, it's like the old people, we don't have them anymore. That was the way out, not to insult the. So whenever it says here non-Jew, it's referring to the idolaters that don't exist anymore. So, okay. Amr Shmuel. Shmuel said, Haiman de Machale ba Alunki. The Parsi, anyone that was hit with a spear, Persian spear, I think they had poison at the end. Michilechai is not going to live. That's it. Just give up. But adahachi vahachi. But meanwhile, you can get them to a little bit.
Were they the first to use poison on their spears?
I don't know. Uh-huh. And
no, they put it on it. Yeah.
They poison the tips. I hear you.
Shoot the guy, kill him, but don't poison.
But meanwhile, meanwhile, feed him meat roasted on coals, fat meat, the chamrachaya and raw and undiluted wine. After the chayipurta could be he'll live for a little bit. He'll be able to give instructions to his family. Be able to say where he left to this, the keys to that, and then, policy here. Amar Ravidi Baravin says, Haiman de Mivla Zibura, someone that swallows a wasp, a hornet. Michile Chaya, it's not going to live. But meanwhile, Nishke Ravia said the Chala, Shamzeg, you should drink a Sham gaze. Two versions of this. You should drink a Ravias, a small measurement of very strong vinegar. After the Chayaporta could be he'll live a little bit, Mifka Lebese, and he'll give instructions to his house. I'm Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Shua ben Levi says, Achal Basar Shar Belefes, if someone eats ox meat with turnip, Belan, Belavana, Belela Yudal, at Tesvav, Pitzkupastamas, and he sleeps outside under the moon in the middle of the month, in the summer, in Tkufas Tamas, Achaztu Achilu, he's going to end up getting this illness caused Achilu. Do they have any translation for that? The Gemara later on is going to ask what's Achilu. But
Inflammation of the joints.
oh yeah, inflammation of the joints.
No?
Oh, like a terror.
Yeah.
Okay. But over there it says inflammation. Okay. Well, Tana was taught in a brisa, anyone that fills his stomach eats too much. Gets achilu. Amar Papa. Papa says, mitamri. Even if he eats too many dates, Gemara says, pshita. It's obvious. But he ate too much. What's the difference? What it was? Since it says about dates that they fill a person up, they satisfy a person, they warm him, they make his stomach more loose, they strengthen him. They don't, and they also, after all of this, they don't spoil a person. Even though it's so good, they don't make a person spoiled. We could say that maybe it's not a problem to eat a lot of dates. Kamash Malan, that it still is a problem. Don't don't overeat. My achilu, what is achilu? Amar Rabbi Lazar, ishal atzamis, it's a fire in the bones. My ishal atzamis, what is the fire of the bones? Amar Abaya, ish garmi, it's the fire of the bones. I don't know what switched over there. Garmi is bones. And atzamis are bones. I'm not sure what Abaya, is he just saying it in Aramaic? Okay. Maya Sute, what is the remedy for achilu? Amar Abaya, Abaya says, Amar Liyem, my mother told me, which we always say is not his mother, it's his stepmother, his wet nurse. Kulu shakaini, all medicine drinks, all medicines, plusa, to take them for 3 days. Beshiva, or you have to take them for 7 days. Betracer, you have to take them for 12 days. That's what it says on the label. Bahai, remember that guy who walks out of the pharmacy, he's like going like this. What are you doing? It says shake well before taking. So to take it for 12 days. Bahai, this one, ad mitzvah, you have to take it until it gets better. Kula shakaini, all of these remedies, aliba reikna, you have to take them on an empty stomach. Bahai basadachal vashasi, this you have to take after you've already eaten. He didn't say what the remedy is yet, right? And va'ayla beisakise v'nafik, after he eats, he goes to the bathroom, he comes out, mashiyadi, washes his hands. Maisle buna de shasisa de talfachi, he brings him, buna is, I think, a fistful. Let me see where I saw that. Fistful. The fistful of shasisa is a porridge of lentils, talfachi is lentils. Buna de chamra atika, and a fistful of old wine. And you mix them together, and you eat it. And he wraps himself in a blanket. He goes to sleep. No one should wake him up until he wakes up on his own. Oh, that sounds like a teenager. When he gets up, take the blanket off quickly. And if not, he could get it back, get the disease back. Quickly get rid of the blanket. Amalei Elio Rab Nassan. Elio, I guess Elio Navi tells to Rab Nassan, Achal Shlish, the person should only eat 1/3. Shasa Shlish, he should drink 1/3. V'hanach shlish, and you should leave a third, like don't fill up the last third. Like shetikais, because when he gets angry, tamid al miluach. When a person gets angry, he loses his appetite, which means that his stomach like fills up. So if he's already full and he gets angry, then it's gonna burst. So here he leaves it 1/3, only 2/3 full. And when he gets angry, when he loses appetite, it only gets to regularly full. Tani Reb Chia taught, anyone that doesn't want to get stomach illnesses, a rugel betivol should always dip his bread into vinegar or wine, kayetz v'chayref in the summer and in the winter. A meal that you're enjoying, you should remove your hands from it. I guess it means don't fill up all the way. And don't delay when you need to use the bathroom. Amar Marukva. Marukva says, someone that drinks this type of wine, it's a white wine. It's apparently it's a bad wine. Rashi says, Yayin Ra. Achas Vitik, he's going to be overcome by weakness. What's a bad wine? I don't know. Vinegar. No, he would have said vinegar.
Anything from Concord grapes.
Okay. Oh, you think so? The white ones. What does it say over there? It says it has any comment about it? Inferior wine. Yeah. Okay. But there's Elchanan says, how do you become such an expert in wine? He says you drink a lot of bad wine. The Yamar of Chizda. Of Chizda says, Shitin mini chamra hava. There's 60 types of wine. Mala de Kula, the best of them, is Sumka Richtena, is this aromatic red wine. Reich Richtena, it has a reich. Gria de Kula, the worst of them is Tila Chivra, is this white bad wine, Tilia. I'm sorry? Uh-huh. And in halacha, white wine has an advantage. If you're not sure if it's a superior wine, it's assumed that it is white wine. It's assumed that it's a better wine. Not if you know for sure, but if you have a white wine, it's assumed that it's better than the red wine. That would be equivalent.
That's the opposite.
Yes. Yeah. No, this is a specific wine. This is a specific wine, Tilia. Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda says, "Haiman diyaseh b'tzafrene Nisan gabinur." Anyone that sits in the mornings, during the month of Nisan next to the fire, v'shayef mishchi, puts oil on himself, enough, and he goes outside. V'yaseh b'shimshi, sits in the sun. Achas tevitek, he becomes weak. Taner Rabbanan, taught in the Brayse, ikaz dam, someone that does bloodletting, b'shimish mitasi, and then he has relations. Avilan banav vitkin, then if his wife conceives from those relations, the children will be weak. Ikisu shneim, let's say they both did bloodletting, b'shimshu, and then they had relations. Avilan banim balarasim, they'll have children that are very weak. And I don't know what it means. It says they have an insect in the brain. What is that? What are they referring to? Rashi says sheretz b'mayach.
They say a pregnant woman shouldn't change kitty litter because it can pick up
infection.
Which can then
Like
affect
Titus.
the fetus.
Oh, maybe.
Right.
He says like Titus had a insect in the brain.
I'm just saying the
Right.
parasites that go into the
Parasite.
brain and,
Amar of Papa Le'amanel Leitam Midi, this would only be if he didn't eat. Aval Tam Midi less than blood, but if he ate something, then it wouldn't be a problem after bloodletting. So they give you some orange juice after you give blood. Amar Rabba Baravuna. Let's encourage people to give blood. They say you're going to get a cup of orange juice. Rabba Baravuna says, someone comes from a journey. Shimish mitasi, and he has relations, having the banavitkin, the children will be weak. Someone that was taught in the Brisa. Someone that comes from the bathroom, you should not have relations until he waits a half a mile, the amount of time it takes to walk half a mile. Because the demon of the bathroom is accompanying. And if he does have relations, he'll have children that are epileptic, they like fall on the floor. Someone that has relations standing up.
I'm sorry. Yesterday it was interesting. One of the cures was to take the shade of the toilet.
No, that was a shadow.
I know, that's what I want to say. We were using it.
In the shadow of the bathroom.
Said,
Right.
it's not a shade, it's just the dirt and the shadow, like maybe more so this. And here it is the shade.
Right.
That's
By the way, it was a bad joke then, still a bad joke.
I always listen to you.
It wasn't a joke, it was explaining what it was.
Okay. Echaste Avis gets grabbed by a cramp. Someone has relations standing up. Avis, cramp. You see Rashi? Cramp.
Interesting.
Spasms. Okay. I said cramp because Rashi says crampa. Okay. Miyoshev, he has relations sitting down. Echaste Delaria. I'm not pronouncing that right. But let's see what that is. We'll see soon. We'll see soon what it is. He malmaila v'hu malmata. Let's say the woman is laying on the bottom and the man is on the top. Echaste Delaria also. They get this Delaria. My Delaria, what is Delaria? I'm Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Shua ben Levi says, I'm not going to tell you what Delaria is, but I will tell you the remedy for it. Some Delaria is Dardara. Oh, that's what the remedy for Delaria. My Dardara. What is Dardara? Amrabaya, Marika dechuchi. Marika is saffron. Dechuchi, it's saffron from the thorns. Rav Papa.
The picture you want to see. It's very formidable. Saffron must be in there.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow. There's a picture of.
This is my favorite
is
thorn.
that my yeah,
That,
no, there
that
it
one,
is.
the purple
That's
one.
saffron in the
Wow,
thorn.
that's my favorite thorn. I used to pick those and bring them home as flowers for Shabbos.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The thorns?
gorgeous purple ball thorns, and very careful. But you to the bottom,
Wow.
you take it, and they last.
Beautiful.
I was now in Israel. I have pictures.
What just happened? Where am I? Lost my place there. Avis, Delaria, Dardara. America de Chuchi. Okay. Rav Papa, Alice Abalale. Rav Papa would chew on this and swallow it. Rav Papi, Alice Vishadile. Rav Papi would chew on it and spit it out. Amar Abaya. Abaya says, Mishaina Baki B'derech Eretz. Someone doesn't mean Baki B'derech. It's someone that doesn't have the strength to have relations. They say Gimel Kfize Kortemi Dechuchi. He should take 3 kfizis, 3 revius. Safflower of, okay, now the chuchi could mean of thorns, safflower of thorns, and it also could mean chari, it could mean safflower that grew in manure. Venadukino, and you grind it. Venashlakino b'chamra, and you boil it in shalak is to boil or to soak. Nashtarino is to soak. You boil it in wine, finish it, and you drink it. Amar Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Yechanan says, "Hein hein nechzerinu lenarusi." This is what brought me back to my youth. That was the safflower that grew in the thorns or manure or whatever. Okay. There's 3 things that weaken a person: Beloin pachad, fear, derech, travel, va'avain, and sin. Pachad, fear. The Ksiv, it says in the pasuk, "Libi schar, my heart flutters as avani koichi." My strength left me. Derech, the Ksiv, ina b'derech koichi. He was weakened on his strength. His strength was weakened on the road. Avain, the Ksiv, kashal ba'avani koichi. My strength fails because of the sins. Shloisha Dvarim Matis and Gufish Ladam. Three things that break the body of a person. Achal moment if he eats standing up, Shasa moment if he drinks standing up, Shimish Mitasa moment or he has relations standing up. There's 5 things that are closer to death than being alive. Achal V'amad if he eats and he stands up, Shasa V'amad if he drinks and he stands up. Hikas Dam V'amad if he lets blood and he stands up. Yashan V'amad he sleeps and he stands up. That means he stands up right away. Shimish Mitasa V'amad he has relations and he stands up. Like too quickly. Shisha, there's 6 things. Someone does these 6 things, he dies immediately. Good day. Someone that comes from the road and he's tired out. He does bloodletting. He goes into the bathhouse. Shasa, he drinks, he gets drunk. He sleeps on the ground, and then he has relations. Rabbi Yochanan says he only dies if he does them in order. Abaya Kasidran Mace. Abaya says if he does them in order, then he dies. Shlei Kasidran, if he doesn't do them in order, Chalash, he just gets weak. Aini, is that really so? But Ma'uris, there was this lady, Ma'uris, Avdlei Lavda Tlas Minayo Mace. She had her servant do 3 of them, and he died already. It says he was weak anyway. Okay. Shmeina Ruban Kasha Umiyutan Yafa. There's 8 things that a lot of it is bad and a little of it is okay. It's good, not just okay, it's good. Belohain. Derech. To walk. Derech Eretz. Relations. Oisher. Wealth. It's good to be a little wealthy. Rashi says if you have too much wealth, it makes a person stop studying Torah and makes him haughty. Malacha, work. Little work is good. Yayin, wine. Shina, sleep. Chamen is to drink and to bathe, hot water. Akazastam and bloodletting. Shmeina, there's 8 things. Matim esazera, diminish the sperm. Be'elohein, they are hamelach, which is salt, harav, hunger, netek. Nesek is a taras. Bechia is crying. Shina gabikarka, sleeping on the ground. Vigudganios is kaskuta. Vikishas is daughter. Remember, Kisha, we had that before. Vikisha shleib is mana, unripe daughter. Vakazastam lamata kiflayim. And when you do bloodletting on the lower part of the body, then that's double everything else. Tana. So just like when you do bloodletting on the lower part of the body, it's double as bad. So it's also double as good if you do it on the upper part of the body. Amar Papa, lamata, what does it mean below on the lower part of the body? Lamata min habetzim, below the testicles. Lamaila, above. Lamaila min habetzim, it's above the testicles. Kisha shlei bismana, what does it mean? Daughter that's not in its time, it's not in its season. Tana kshem shekasha shlei bismana, just like it's bad when it's not in its time. Kach yaf bismana, so too is it good when it is in its time. Amar Papa's manner, Papa says the time for the daughter to eat it is tamas. Shlei bismana is tevis. In the summer, it's the time, not in the winter. Yeminis and Yemitishrei, but in the spring and in the fall, leimalav lekashu, that's not good and not bad. Okay, let's leave it over here.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow back to